everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom. This is Sean, and on today's episode, we are going to be reviewing and discussing Ben Affleck's Air. But before we do that, do us a favor, leave a like right now, subscribe down below, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Links are on the screen and down below.
Oh, spoilers. Well, this isn't really spoilers.
Yeah.
It's like a story from the 80s.
I mean, same thing with Mario.
Spoilers, Michael Jordans are popular.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler, Mario exists.
Well, Mario was different, though, because, they did change it.
Okay, well, watch our episode if you haven't seen that yet. We're not going to talk too much about it.
We're not spoiling anything about Air.
But yeah, before we head... No, actually, no, I already did that. Sean is actually going to take the lead with some initial thoughts, pros, cons, etc., because he is the second biggest sports fan in this podcast. I am the first sports guy.
I thought it was a great movie. It didn't do so well in the box office, it looked like.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good story that I kind of already knew. It was good to see some details. I didn't know so much about the mom and dad stuff, but I knew the basic lore of it. It's about Sonny Vaccaro, or I think Sonny Vaccaro, or something like that.
Sonny.
Played by Matt Damon, who also did a great job in this role. The last few roles he's picked have been really good. Like, he's been pretty selective in the things that he does.
I mean, yeah, once you get to that point.
Yeah,
That's what I said that before, too. I was like,
dude.
once I get to a certain point, they pick really, like Brad Pitt I was talking about.
What was the one he was in Ford versus Ferrari or whatever,
That was fire.
That was great. Like, I thought that was going to be a stupid movie that I wasn't going to like, and him and Christian Bale were
amazing.
Yeah, that movie was great.
Was that? Oh, I didn't go ahead.
But no, I thought this was similar to that. Him and Ben Affleck were great. I love that era. Usually when they're, especially when they're remaking the 80s and movies, they always do a great job.
Yeah.
The music from them is really good. The soundtrack for Air was awesome. The outfits Ben Affleck were wearing were hilarious.
Funny.
They're just so fun. I know he was just getting a kick out of it.
He was having fun.
But yeah, I thought it was a dope movie about a story we already know. I guess you would call it a reimagining. I'm assuming they tried to get, try to do it.
Stay true.
Stay as true as they could. But I really liked it. The dialogue felt really authentic, like from that time, and like it didn't feel like they were shooting a movie. It felt like you were kind of more like a fly on the wall while they were doing it. Everybody acted.
You were seeing
there was
the story.
like legends in this with Chris Tucker, Ben Affleck,
Viola
Davis, Jason Bateman. There was a bunch of great people.
He's like the newest out of all of them. And that's saying something. You know what I mean?
I guess that is true. Yeah. Is he? I guess he's been around. I don't know. Yeah,
he's been around, but I would say on the totem pole of everyone else.
Chris Tucker's probably the lowest.
Then Jason Bateman would be second. Or Marlon Wayne.
Well, Marlon Wayne. Well, Marlon's a GOAT. Marlon, he's just not like an Oscar winner type of guy, but he's been a legend in the game for a long time.
I was saying, like this,
there was a lot. There was a lot of people in this movie. A lot of moving parts, and I thought they did a great job telling the story. We already know. I guess it didn't do too well in the box offices, but. It's movies sometimes, I would say, if your girl don't want to go see it, it's going to be tough. It's got to be a date movie, and I don't think Air's a date movie. I think it'll win awards. I think it'll do good on Netflix or whatever streaming platform it lands on.
I think it's going to get delayed gratification.
Yes,
definitely.
I think they will win multiple.
It's like how The Founder was.
Yeah, I think they will win multiple awards at the Oscars?
Or not Grammy. There's another one, Academy Award.
I think it'll win that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's really all. Like I said, I don't want to get into too much.
No, you're good. Yeah. So speaking about the box office, I want to pull up the numbers for you guys. So the budget for the movie was, they said, between 70 and 90 million, and the opening weekend was 14.4, and they're currently at 20.2. So I mean, I think they'll do fine.
Probably make that back.
Yeah, they're gonna make that back.
It'll take a while. Yeah, it came out the weekend Mario came out.
Yeah, so I mean, and Mario actually set the biggest record for animation, over 300 million opening weekend.
And we were talking about that, and that was it hasn't dropped in Japan or China.
Yeah, you said it was only biggest box office ever domestically.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, and let me see the numbers here. Yeah. And I was reading somewhere too, the average person who was going in there, I think it was like over 49% of the audience was over 35. So that was actually pretty cool. I don't know how.
I never really see numbers like that.
I just looked up the budget.
It was probably like a survey or something.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see that for all the movies if they kept a tally.
That'd be cool.
But it'd be kind of hard to do that because you don't ask anybody when they buy tickets.
Yeah. I didn't realize this movie was rated R. I did not know that.
Well, I guess what happened? It was just swearing, right?
Yeah. Excessive swearing, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of F-bombs, so I guess that's how it got the rated R. It's probably PG-13.
Yeah, because isn't it like the amount of times you say the F word?
I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
I think you can't say the F word at all in PG-13 movie.
I thought there was a limit, like 10 or 5 or something.
But maybe. But anyways, yeah, this was actually this movie was produced by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon with their production company Artist Equity. And the reason they started, they wanted to expand profit and provide a quote-unquote talent-friendly environment to all the creatives. So basically, they want to make sure people on every avenue of it they're not getting overworked or underpaid or anything like that. That's what their whole point for this production company is. And Affleck is the CEO of it, and then Damon's a CCO.
CFO?
No, CCO.
What is CCO?
I don't know. I didn't write down, but I just wrote that down. So if you know what CCO is,
put it in the comments.
there you go. Put it in the comics.
PG-13 movies are allowed one F-bomb. I knew there was there was like some kind
That'd
of weird
be,
limit.
yeah. Okay.
There's definitely more than one in there.
But yeah, so like I said earlier, it was directed by Ben Affleck, but this was also written by Alex Convery, and this was his debut.
I read something about that. Yeah, it was the first thing he's ever
written. I looked
That's
at
crazy
IMDb.
for
And then
Matt Damon.
he pitched it. Alex pitched it to something, or I think it was to them actually. I forgot how they saw the script, and they brought it back to Alex. I mean, they rewrote certain things. I'll get into that in a bit, but they adjusted the script, and Alex was like, "Yeah, I assume I know how Hollywood works, so they were gonna take writing credit, and I was gonna kind of go down on the totem pole." But Alex said he was like, "They made sure I was the main writer. They adjusted my script a lot." But they did not take any writing credit, and I'm talking about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon here.
Dope.
And they made sure Alex got his flowers, and I was like, well, that's really cool.
That is because they could have took the writing credit, and he still would have got his money.
Yeah,
but he wouldn't have got. I just directed him or wrote a movie that Ben Affleck directed, and now he's gonna get 10 more jobs.
Yeah,
so
he's gonna.
That is kind of dope of them because, like I said, he knew he would have been happy with them taking the writing credit and him just getting his. Him being able to write that. Oh, I wrote that movie. You know what I mean? It'd be fine. But to be selfless, to do something that most people would do, because when you change the script, you do get a writing credit.
Yeah.
So that is dope to hear. Like I said, I knew some of that stuff about their first movie and their production company.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool too, where it's like they're saying like it's more evenly spread.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what like Viola Davis and Chris Tucker and Marlon Wayans all them got paid. Like,
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why the budget was high. I mean, there we go. My camera's about to die. Excuse me, guys. I'm about to actually get into it. Already, apologies about that, guys. But yeah, so yeah. I want to speak about on the changes to the script. I believe you may have heard of this. I'll go through it and then you let me know. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon met with Jordan, and that was the reason why they had a lot of rewrites or adjustments to the said script, is because Affleck said to Jordan, he's like, "Hey, if you don't want us to do this movie, we're not doing it. Like, we understand this is your legacy." And he went up to him, showed him the script, and then Michael Jordan you talked about the mom. That was a big part. Jordan said, he was like, my mom was a huge part of this, and that's why she was such a big role. And then Affleck was telling the story. He's like, I asked him before I finished my sentence about who I should cast. He was like, Viola Davis. So that was the reason why Viola Davis was in it, because Michael Jordan wanted her. And
that's dope. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's good of him. Like, Michael Jordan's a rapper being like a jerk, so he, you know what I mean? He probably did only let them do the movie, like, with his blessing because they were, making it about his mom.
Yeah. And then also, Jordan also stated that Chris Tucker's character and Marlon Wayans had to be more present in the film, have a more present role, because they were also very important in that deal or situation.
I really like Chris.
Yeah,
Tucker.
He was funny.
Yeah.
He was good. He's a goat.
I don't. Sometimes for me, it perplexes me that his career didn't take off, because if you saw Friday, which most people have, he's amazing, and like he's just so charismatic and pops on the screen. Like in Rush Hour, he's amazing. Like he seems like one of the funniest people ever when he's in that movie.
And it's funny because he had that same energy, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm like a
but it's just like he's very charismatic. Where like when he's in the room and there's 5 people, it's like he's popping. Yeah. Like he's really funny, and it's like it oozes out of him. And I like him a lot. He's like I said, very charismatic and very talented, and he just like everything he does is usually very entertaining.
Yeah. Those were the big main things with his mom involved, or his mom being basically the main character of it. Because if you notice, and I really like this is one of my biggest pros of this movie. I like the fact that even though it was Michael Jordan's story, I don't know, I'm quoting it. Michael Jordan's story, they focused on how Michael Jordan got the Nike deal. It wasn't like, oh, let's focus on Michael Jordan. They focused on his mom, and the reason
other
why
people, yeah.
the people that are also as important for this deal, and that's stated by Michael Jordan. And I keep saying that name so much, it's gonna be really annoying.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Affleck did state that the reason that you never saw the actor who played him, it was always the back of his head or like a silhouette or whatever, was he was like, let me read this, I don't want to misquote. It would have taken away from the film, and Affleck said it would have been the most criticized scenes if he were ever to show his face or speak or anything like that.
I agree that like they would have been like, "Why'd you pick him?
Yeah,
doesn't look like him." Like,
and they didn't want to take away from the story, and the story was
really didn't have anything
good.
to do. I mean, like what he looked like didn't have.
Yeah,
like, you all know what Michael Jordan looks like, so there's really no point.
So, and actually a couple more facts before I get into my thoughts and stuff. The Jordan brand makes Nike $4 billion annually, so every year, and then he gets about $400 million an average every year from it. In the first year, they made $162 million off that deal, and that's movie budget. But yeah, those are some facts about the deal, and since then, but it was really cool to see that interest. I didn't realize that he was the first athlete ever to get a percentage of the sales and stuff like that. I didn't realize that. That was pretty cool to find out.
They were trying. I was reading stories about that. Like, I'm a big sports fan. They were trying to get players to take deals like that, but they were too. I don't want to use the word stupid, but it really was where they were like, "No, I want the $50,000 check. Why would I want a percentage?" Like, not. They just didn't. They weren't aware of what their value was, and like.
Oh, back then.
Yeah, back then.
Oh,
yeah. Mike was the first person to really do it, but they had been trying to get athletes.
Was the difference
Adidas was and Converse was trying to get athletes to take deals. Even Nike was at some point where like, take this deal and we'll give you a percentage.
Was it like a lower check though? Is that what it was? I would assume. Like you said, let's go. Well, actually, the 250 instead of 250 with no percentage, it'd be like 75 with a 10% or something like that. Was it?
Yeah, it would have been like a much smaller check.
Yeah.
But with like long term, you would have made way more money, and they were like, "No, I want the money right now." And it's like you said, the first year they did 160 something too. Yeah. Like you got 10% of that. That's $16 million. Yeah. And that's way more than any basketball players making back then. But they weren't thinking like that, and they probably got screwed over.
It was funny you mentioned that. They were talking about that in this movie. It's like, yeah, we know he wants his dumb Mercedes. Like, he's a kid. He's going to not care about it next year. Yeah. So it was cool you mentioned that because that was a big.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't realize he was the first one, but I do remember that like he was the one that kind of like sparked like how profitable it could be. Like, and that was basically the story of the movie anyway, where Matt Damon was like, well, we're going to pick players on potential. Yeah. I mean, catch them early and give them a big deal, like what they think is a big deal. But it's going to, like you said, they make $4 billion a year. Mike's only getting 10% of that, right? Like, which is a lot of money, but it ain't $4 billion. Like,
right. So yeah, my thoughts about this movie. Like I said, I like that the fact that they really focused on the other people in the movie, not just Michael, because they could have easily done a cash grab. Whereas Michael on it, but when I saw Ben Affleck was directing. And then I heard the press behind it as well with the whole Alex. And I think I was really excited because it just sounded like a really good quality story. It was something different than a typical sports movie, which is always about the athlete. Like we talked about earlier, the cast was absolutely perfect. I really can't think. I was really excited to see Jason Bateman interact with those because I think since Ozarks, everyone's starting to give his flowers. I mean, I think we can all agree that prior to Ozarks, he was just like a funny, dark humor comedic guy.
He wasn't getting known as like, even though he was just like a little quirky, sarcastic, like prick kind of guy.
Yeah, but he was a writer on Ozark's, director, so like he got his flowers for that stuff. So I was really excited that he got to shine on this big screen with pretty much all the A-listers. Yeah. And he did well. He interacted with everyone very well. It flowed very smoothly. I just want to give him his flowers for that, and I'm very excited to see what else he does now after this. Like, if this was like his first thing post Ozarks, he's gonna start killing it. I think he'll do a couple comedies.
Like Damon and like they start picking like some real good movies, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Also, I know this is your big thing. Was the pacing of the movie was really well done. Yeah. I felt a little sluggish. But it's because the movie theater I went to, I got there like right on time, and then I was waiting for my food. I'm like, I just want my food. So I was getting hangry, so I didn't take that out in the movie. But the movie was only an hour 52 minutes.
Yes,
so that was really good.
Under 2 hours, which was awesome.
Yeah.
a lot of movies have been like that lately. I hope that's the new trend.
Yeah.
And they're realizing that nobody wants to sit in the movie theater and watch a 4-hour movie.
Yeah. There's actually a movie that's coming out soon. It's 3 hours. That's like I think that's A Beau is Afraid. I think that's gonna be a 3-hour movie.
I hope not.
But yeah, a little comment from me. When I went in there, it was really funny because it was an older crowd, and I mean there's some young guys in there, but it was a majority older crowd, and it was really funny because every time like an older song came on, I always heard a, and then like they're doing this, or like
I thought the soundtrack was awesome.
and then like the old guys would always laugh at like the 80s references, jokes, or
Yeah.
something. Like I wouldn't get, they're like, I got that. It was just
music
funny as
in the
shit.
80s was awesome.
Yeah.
So I thought the soundtrack was amazing.
It was funny. I do want to ask this though. So, if you recall, when they were doing the intro credits of like all the studios involved, you noticed Amazon Studios, right?
No, I don't think I wasn't paying attention.
But yeah, so Amazon Studios was obviously a part of this, and I wanted to ask you because it was this was Amazon's global debut into a theater for theatrical release. Do you think this movie was supposed to be originally on Amazon? If Amazon Studios was involved, do you think it was like, oh, okay?
They probably wanted.
get-go.
They probably wanted that, but no. They like Ben Affleck doesn't seem like he wants to make a movie that's not going to the theaters.
Yeah, if he
So,
directed
I'm
it,
sure
yeah.
they probably like, oh, we'll get in, and they probably suggested like, hey, what do you guys think about putting it on Amazon
Yeah.
first? You know, if then they're like, no, we're putting it in theaters. We'll have priority. It'll probably be on Amazon
in
first,
a month
so,
or so. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was thinking that too because in my head I'm like, if it's directed by Ben Affleck, that's going straight to the theaters.
Yeah,
you know,
Ben is like that. With him, I don't think they would have.
He's a
like,
traditionalist.
He might have. They might have. Somebody might have asked.
Yeah,
but
he's
like,
like, stop.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am? Oh, yeah, I already said this earlier, but yeah, it gave the Founder vibes. It was really like I mean that movie's a little different, but same concept. But yeah, I mean I've said my thoughts. You can go.
I mean, I said mine in the beginning. I thought it was awesome. It was cool to
Any
tell
critiques?
the story. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think the movie is perfect, but I don't really have any major critiques.
Right, it's hard to like kind of base off.
Yeah,
a true
to,
story.
like to something I didn't like. Like it's just the movie as a whole really isn't my cup of tea. I probably wouldn't watch it again. It was cool to see this story brought to life. So I guess that would be my critique. That I guess it is kind of boring in some parts. But it's a boring story. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. Like
Yeah.
It's kind of gonna be boring. I knew it was gonna be boring. But yeah, I don't really have any major critiques. I thought they did a good job. I like all the stuff that Ben Affleck did, not showing Michael Jordan. I thought Matt Damon killed it in his role. The side characters, if you want to call them that, Marlon Wayans and Chris Tucker, really popped, and they're really funny. I thought there was a good group effort by a lot of like high quality people,
Yeah.
and I would be interested to see how much
their
money they
chemistry
made.
was really well
Yes.
too. It didn't feel like they're there for a
Yeah, it
paycheck.
didn't feel like a movie. Like the way they shot it, it felt like you were like in the room.
You were
fly on
just
the
watching
wall.
the
Yeah,
story.
you were like
You
a
were
fly on the
seeing.
wall and seeing it, and it didn't feel like there was a camera panning around.
Yeah.
And, like, felt real natural and authentic.
It did score. The critics scored it at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score was 98%.
Oh wow.
So that's so far. I think, like I said, that's why I think it'll break even
Yeah.
if the budget was 70 to 90.
Yeah.
I think it's probably gonna hit 70, 75, maybe 80. I don't think it's gonna hit 90. By the time it goes out of theaters, I think it's gonna hit it right at the last minute, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But yeah. It's only 20 minutes. I guess. Wow, that's pretty quick. Do you
I mean,
got?
it's not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Like it's a story everybody already knew. Yeah, like I said, the '80s music was dope. The outfits were, you know what I mean, funny.
Ben Affleck was so
in like
funny.
He was in like the iconic, corny '80s
80s
outfits, like
joggers and stuff.
track suits with like
The
big
tight
triangles
tights,
on
yeah.
them, and like the
The-
weird
yeah.
glasses,
Those
like
are making a
like he was
comeback,
going to
too.
snowboarding or
Yeah.
something. Like that part is awesome. I'll go. You want to rate it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. It's like I said, it's just the topic is a little boring.
Yeah.
It's like Moneyball. Like Moneyball was a great movie.
I want to see that. So
Moneyball is a great movie,
yeah.
but it's boring. It's
One
about
time
like the
watch,
front
yeah.
office of baseball, like about this team winning. And it's like if you're an Oakland fan and you were from that time, yeah, like I said, old people probably really got a kick
Yeah.
out of the Michael Jordan stuff. But I already knew the story, and it's just like the inner workings of one of the most popular branding deals there
Yeah,
was.
this was
and-
definitely a big commercial.
Yeah,
I will say that
yeah.
for sure. But it was done tastefully.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shy away. Like
Yeah, it was like a commercial for Nike and to pay homage to Mike's mom.
Yes, I like that part a lot. I think that's Excuse me. I gave this an 8.5, 8.6. I couldn't really decide between those, but 8.5, 8.6. Similar to Sean, it was a quality movie. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I really enjoyed the fact that it wasn't Michael Jordan's story. It was the story
Everybody
of
else's.
everyone else's story, and that Ben Affleck never focused on him, and for the right reasons too. Artistically and logistically speaking, it would have been a nightmare if they casted anyone as Michael Jordan. It would have been awful. But yeah, I probably won't. I'll probably watch it one more time at some point in my life. But I'm not in a rush. Like I said, it's not one of those movies you can rewatch. You know what I mean? It's like you learn something. If you don't know the story,
Acting was good. Yeah.
Like The Founder, I've watched it maybe 2 or 3 times, but I love that movie.
Yeah, Founder's good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I like the learning about the real estate part of it and all.
It's
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys do enjoy. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Excuse me. Before we do that,
you do enjoy.
Yeah, do enjoy. Did do win. But yeah, just feel like right now. Subscribe down below. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Comment down below what you thought of the movie and what we should talk about next episode. Other than that, I am Tom. This is Sean, and we see you guys next episode. Take care.